This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
And welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, coming to you from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone at xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. X-Zone, my guest this hour is Master Lynne Nusyna. She is a worldwide representative, top teacher, disciple, and divine channel personally trained by Dr. and Master Shaw, Grand Master of the Soul, Mind, Body Medicine, founder of the Institute of Soul Healing and Enlightenment. Dr. Shaw is a doctor of Western medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, and Grand Master of many ancient disciplines, including Tai Chi, Qigong, Feng Shui, and I Ching. Now, Master Lynne worked as a strategist and leader in the corporate world for over 20 years, influencing organizational change and transition strategies for major Fortune 100 companies, as well as government. She holds a master's degree in education and counseling. She has had successful practice as a psychotherapist and coach with clients that included business leaders, police officers, and many others. Joining me now is Master Lynne Nusyna. And Master Lynne, welcome to the X-Zone.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Rob.
My goodness. What was it like making the change from corporate world, dealing with Fortune 100 companies, police officers, doing what you're doing now?
Well, it wasn't as big a leap as it may sound. All the time that I was having this wonderful career, and it was a wonderful career, I was also walking very directly on my healing journey and on my spiritual journey. So they were happening together in real time. So it wasn't a tremendous leap. And when I met Master Shaw in 2003, I felt so fortunate, and I knew that eventually I would be committing myself totally to the work that he's doing here in soul healing on Mother Earth. So it wasn't a big leap, because really this was something my soul had always wanted.
Why do you think, Master Lynne, that so many people now are looking at the New Age philosophies, and it seems that they're breaking away from traditional philosophies and religions?
Yeah, it seems that way, but I think we're at a very critical time here on Mother Earth. I'm sure many of your other guests have spoken about it. But we call it the time of Earth's transition. And there is big changes afoot, and they're happening at every level, and they're happening all around us. And I think people are looking, their souls are reaching out through them. They're looking for new modalities and old teachings and traditions that are just coming forward here in the Western world. They're looking for different kinds of answers. And so we're really at the forefront of that. And I think that's what's going on right now. And that's what I'm experiencing when people come to see me, that they've looked in a lot of places and now they feel like they're on a path that's really going to help them make the changes in their life that they need.
All right, Master Lynne, please stand by. You and I have to take a 2-minute commercial break. We'll be right back. Exonation, Master Lynne is going to be at the Toronto Expo that I'm going to be at this coming May 25th until 27th, 6900 Airport Road in Mississauga, Ontario. I'll give you all the information when we come back from this commercial break in 2 minutes as we continue from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, here in the X Zone. Don't go away.
Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine like hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining room can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you're visiting, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, old Florida cuisine at its best.
Are you interested in the paranormal, ghosts, UFOs, or psychic phenomenon? Join me, Tim Bartley, co-host of Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina, coming mid-January 2017 to the XZBN. We will channel spirits live and talk to them, revealing all kinds of amazing information. Spiritual attachments will be found and removed on the show, and so much more. To find out when you can listen to Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina, visit www.xzbn.net for listeners on both sides of the veil.
And welcome back. Master Lynne is our special guest of this hour. Master Lynne Nusyna is her name. Her website is www.mastershawsoulhealingcentertor.com, or you can find out more about Dr. Shaw. We've had the pleasure of having him on the show before at www.drsha.com. And as I was saying, Exo Nation, Master Lynne is going to be at the Body, Soul, Spirit Expo being held at the International Center, 6900 Airport Road, in May of this year, from May the 25th until the 27th. If you'd like to get more information, advance tickets, or if you'd like to find out what other great events the people at Body, Soul, Spirit Expo are putting on this year, maybe closer to you, visit their website at www.bodysoulspiritexpo.com. Master Lynne, before we went to the break, we were talking about why so many people now are breaking away from the traditional religious philosophies and going over to the New Age genre. I was wondering if we could get a little deeper into that, because, you know, it seems that people are looking away not only from the religious philosophies, but also breaking away from Western medicine. Mm-hmm. Is this all part of a fad, or is this the... Is this a way that people are going back to their roots?
I think it's an interesting question. First of all, Master Shaw himself, who's our teacher, is a doctor of Western medicine himself.
Yeah.
And he's also a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine. And so we in no way are not sending the deepest respect to traditional Western medicine and other modalities. They all have a purpose. And I think this is a time where all of these different traditions are coming together. So it's not a matter of saying this doesn't work and this does, but saying, you know, let's take the best of everything, bring it together, integrate it, and use it to serve humanity, because that's what humanity needs at this time. It needs the best of everything that is out there. And there are many wonderful modalities out there, including Western medicine.
Maybe you could explain to our listeners who maybe just be joining for the first time, what is soul healing?
Well, soul healing is very interesting. What it means is to invoke, literally to call on the soul to heal the soul, mind, and body. So a human being has a soul, mind, and body. And the soul actually is the element that is in charge. As Master Shah has said many times, the soul is the boss. The soul can heal. So we're invoking the soul, both the inner soul and also outer souls, what we call outer souls, to heal. As I said, the soul, mind, and body. So that's what soul healing is all about. It's really a breakthrough modality, but it makes a tremendous amount of sense. And the principle or foundation statement is that if you heal the soul first, then the mind and body will follow.
If you
heal the soul first,
right,
then the mind and body will follow.
Now, does your belief also encompass reincarnation?
Absolutely. And reincarnation is a principle or a law, we could say, universal law, that speaks to the main soul or the body soul, living many different lifetimes, and every lifetime is an opportunity to move farther and farther on the soul journey. And as I say to people when they come to our center, the soul has come into a human life because the human life is actually the vehicle for the soul to move forward on its journey, to achieve enlightenment, and to achieve total health, total oneness with all souls. Oh. So that's another principle, certainly reincarnation, that we work with. And also one of the key principles of this teaching, and it's certainly not new to this teaching, it's very familiar to many, many people, is the principle or the universal law of karma, which also says that in every lifetime we do good things and not so good things. And it's the accumulation of those services that you've offered, both good and bad, that really are the key to what you manifest in every lifetime, at the soul level, at the mind level, and at the body level.
Lynne, how do we know that reincarnation is real and not just a philosophy that is based on belief and there's no actual evidence to support it?
Well, there's evidence and there's evidence. I mean, I came myself from the business world where, there is no greater materialism, so to speak, than working in the corporate world, where we have to achieve evidence every day or results every day to testifying to the success of what we're doing. So I've always lived and worked in a very material world. But I've always known that there's more than that, and I think most of us do. That's why people are drawn to spiritual teachings, to other healing modalities, to religion, because in our hearts we know that there is more than just the tangible. And many people have seen evidence of soul healing, of reincarnation. I mean, there's stories galore about people having experiences that are testament to both reincarnation,
I understand that,
soul
but
healing, and much more.
It's not everybody who has these experiences, so that kind of leaves the door open to the possibility that reincarnation could actually be a desire instead of a reality.
Everything is possible, of course, but my own belief system and certainly my own experience has shown me that there is such a thing as reincarnation. I have experienced soul memories myself from past lifetimes. I've been able to help people draw out their own soul memories from past lifetimes, and solely for the purpose, by the way, of helping people to achieve both healing and peace of mind, among other things, in this lifetime. So our past lives can really help us in our current life.
All right, if we do come back, why is it necessary that we have to relearn all over again instead of learning from the mistakes we've made in the past?
I think we do learn from the mistakes. I think to describe the human experience is a little bit about like having amnesia. That, when you're very, very young and you're born, you have much more of a stronger connection to the soul and to your life as a soul. And then as we move farther and farther into the human world, then we really assume the human condition, and we're affected by everything around us, all the stimulus, which is not supporting the notion that we're a soul incarnate. It's really supporting the belief or the notion that we're human beings, and that's all we are. So everything is conditioning us towards that, not towards being a soul. So we do forget. And then if we're really fortunate and we work at it and we pay attention to what our soul is telling us, we can start to remember, sometimes with help. And that's what we're doing, is helping people to remember.
Why is it then that only a slice of the populace realizes that there's more to life and that there's past life and that there's soul healing and so on, and the majority of the populace say, nah, it's just a bunch of mumbo-jumbo?
Well, I don't know. I can't tell you about numbers. I know that it's growing. It certainly has grown in my lifetime, the number of people and that believe this and are experiencing this. It's more than a belief. But what I noticed, especially my last few years in the corporate world, which was just 2 years ago, that the conversations have changed and really changed. And more conversations are about people's spiritual life, about healing, about what's this really all about, what are we doing here. And so I really think that population that we're talking about is growing rather than diminishing.
What's the formula when it comes to the amount of trouble the world is in, and people are looking at the world, the nuclear crisis, the ecological crisis that the world is in, compared to the increase in spirituality? Is this a way of trying to justify that, all right, if the world comes to an end, I know that my life isn't just a menial little biological units, and that once they expire, I'm gone?
Well, I don't think so. I think that, as I said a few minutes ago, we are at a critical time in Earth's history. I think that we've been here before, although we may not remember it in a material way, but I believe that we're at a real turning point, a transition point on Mother Earth, and that more and more people are coming to this realization. And so what's going on around us is really testament to the critical time that we're living in. And my experience, and I was a psychotherapist for years too, is that people don't really change until they come to a crisis in their life. It could be a healing crisis, a mental crisis, emotional crisis.
Well, you see
and
this,
I think Mother Earth is in crisis right now, and we're about to make that shift.
You see this
and
a lot with people
why all these new healing modalities are coming forward.
Yeah, but you also see this with people who are on their deathbeds. Whether they're you hear the stories about the people who have lost faith, and at the very last minute they want to hold on to something, a belief that something better lies ahead of them as they depart this plane, that they become believers once again. Does the crisis do that?
I think so. I think, I've witnessed, a number of family members and other people as they came towards the end of their life, and some actually going through that moment of transition. And that's when you're moving basically back into the soul world. You're moving out of the earthly world completely into the soul world. So I think what people connect with is where they're going next. And for some people, it has a lot to do with fear. I think, they're fearful. But at the same time, why does everybody want to believe there's something more? Because there is. So when you come down to it, when your life is coming to an end, some people really come to terms with, what's life all about? What was I doing here? What's next? So it can be really a time of great illumination for people.
Exonation, Master Lynne Nusyna is our special guest this hour. www.mastershaw-soul-healing-center.com, and center is spelled CENTRE. That's Master Shaw Soul Healing Center. TOR.com or www.drsha.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as the X-Zone continues. We're right here, live from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
And welcome back, everyone. Master Lynne Nusyna is our special guest for this hour. www.mastershaw-soul-healing-center.com, and don't forget, center is spelled C-E-N-T-R-E. Or you can visit Dr. Shaw's website at www.drsha.com. And Master Lynne is going to be at the Body, Soul, Spirit Expo, being held May 25th until the 27th at the International Center, 6900 Airport Road, right across from Pearson International Airport in Toronto. It's actually Mississauga. If you'd like more information, www.bodysoulspiritexpo.com. Master Lynne, what is a worldwide representative and divine channel, and how do you become one?
Thank you. I am a worldwide representative and divine channel, and very honored to be one. I came to Master Shaw, as a student, and very quickly became actually one of his originally assistant teachers. And at a certain point, I was given the honor of becoming his disciple. Now, many people are familiar with what are called lineage holders or the master-disciple relationship, which is very common in the East, but certainly not in the West. But Master Shaw, coming from those traditions, he was a disciple and of other masters, and I was honored to become his disciple. And with that came the title Worldwide Representative, which basically means that I represent him in all over the world, and at this time in the Toronto area at the Soul Healing Center, but also all over the world. So I've been given the title of Divine Channel and Worldwide Representative Disciple. So the Divine Channel piece of it is that in order to become a disciple and worldwide representative, you have to go through many forms of what I would call spiritual testing and purification, learn a lot of healing modalities, a lot of teachings, etc. And when you are purified enough, basically, then you are able to become a channel, which means that you can receive both soul healing and soul wisdom through you from the soul world and from divine, from the Tao. So basically a channel is a channel. I am a channel that the healing and the teaching come through me. So those are the three titles that I have: Disciple, Worldwide Representative, and Divine Channel.
Why do you think, Master Lynne, that people in the Western world flock to Eastern philosophies?
I think because they're most of the teachings are simple when you really get down to it, when you look at it. There's some basic principles in a lot of the Eastern teachings and Buddhism, the different streams of Buddhism, Hinduism, for instance. And the basic principles are there in a common thread in all of them, the principles of reincarnation, of karma. And we use a lot of the sayings, like what goes around comes around. I mean, there are many things that are common to the teachings of the East that have become almost common lexicon in the West. I think for a lot of people like myself, when I first started on this journey, it was plain old curiosity, and it was looking for something more. And also, to be perfectly frank, I think a lot of us have had past lives in the Far East or different parts of the East. So these modalities, these teachings are not new to us. Actually, when I started to learn myself, I felt quite at home. So I think it's a combination of past life experience, curiosity on people's part, looking for something out of the traditional world because their traditional world isn't serving them. So it's a combination of factors.
What are some of the examples of how people have benefited from soul healing? And I was wondering if you could share a couple of those stories with us.
Absolutely. The soul healing, first of all, for those that don't know very much about it, is really to learn how to invoke a power that we all have, which is the power of soul. Another one of those forgotten abilities that we have. We forget that we're souls, and we've also forgotten how to use the power of the soul to heal. So that's what soul healing is all about. And I've seen so many people benefit from this. We never promise anything, we never guarantee anything. And all of it involves people becoming directly a participant in their own healing process. It's not strictly what people would call miracle healing, where they receive the healing and poof, they're better. It's important that people really participate in their healing. So we teach people how to do certain practices. We give them certain tools to work with. Plus, we also offer them soul healing at the same time. And I've seen people, benefit right in front of me. I've seen people that walk in the room with pain. We start to chant. I offer them a healing. I teach them how to do self-healing, and the pain disappears. I've seen people, that haven't been able to see, be able to see. One gentleman I saw in Colorado last year that was benefiting from soul healing had lost his sight. He was a wildlife photographer, a nature photographer, and he hadn't been able to see for over a year and a half.
My gosh.
And I saw his sight return and him be able to see his wife's face for the first time. I've seen Master Shah work with people in India just recently, where a championship badminton player whose legs had gone on him, his knees had gone on him, literally bounced off the stage after he received soul healing and learned how to do the soul healing himself. So there are many, many stories like this. And actually on our website, www.drshah.com, right on the homepage, there are testimonials there. There are examples of soul healing for people to see.
All right, Dr. Shah is a Western medicine practitioner, and yet when you talk to most medical professionals and you tell them about the work that is being done by organizations and people like yourself and Master Shah, they just kind of shrug away from it. Why isn't this being practiced more and more and more if it is so effective?
I think there's a resistance that is in all of us to new things. That's one thing. What seems to be a new thing. Also, people just aren't ready for it yet. Again, there's many reasons. We have many people that are practicing soul healing who are medical doctors, chiropractors, naturopaths, homeopaths, all kinds of doctors,
they're not
including
real,
Master Shah himself.
When you're talking about a homeopath, you're talking about a chiropractor. Yeah. They're not real doctors in the medical sense of the word.
Well, they may not be, but they're very respected practitioners.
Once again, I guess it all depends on what part of society you are, whether or not you actually respect a naturopath, because there are so many ways that a person calls themselves a doctor these days. They go on the internet, they pay $25-$30 for a certificate, they give themselves the name, the title of doctor, and away they go. So do you think?
I agree. That's true. That can happen.
Yeah. So do you think that the members of society really need to scrutinize people who call themselves doctor, and maybe this is why they're so leery about anything that is new and out of the ordinary, because so many people have been scammed?
Well, this isn't actually new, but sure, they're entitled to do that. But I think everybody has to experience something before, they discount
Right.
it. And that's all we're asking people to do. And right now, actually, we're offering free soul healing evenings and weekends at our centers all over the world so that people can experience soul healing. And then if it's something that, that doesn't feel right for them, then it's not right for them. But that's experience, I think, is the telling thing here, is that everybody needs to have the direct experience.
What is the most common remark you hear after someone has spent an evening with yourself or Master Sha, and they actually get involved and experience soul healing?
Quite a lot of people say things to me, and I know they've said it to Master Sha, that this is something they've been looking for, something they've been waiting for. People feel empowered. They feel like there's actually something they can do because there's so many people out there that are suffering, both physically, mentally, and emotionally, and they don't feel like there's anything they can do themselves. And this really empowers people to work on their own self-healing. It shows us all that ability is something that we all have. And that's really a key to soul healing. It's the empowerment aspect. So most people are pretty excited.
Yeah. You're going to be speaking at the Body Soul Spirit Expo in Toronto in May between the 25th and 27th. What will people be able to, first of all, hear you talk about, and what will they be able to experience?
Well, I'm going to speak every single day. Thank you to Chandler and everybody at the expo. The first day, the Friday, I'm going to be talking about soul healing with Divine Healing Hands, which is a very special initiative that we have going worldwide, that we're hoping to create Divine Healing Hands healers worldwide. 35,000, in fact, is our goal.
Right.
And so we're training people to become soul healers, Divine Healing Hands practitioners. So the first day I'll be talking about that. The second day I'll be talking about rejuvenation, how to heal and rejuvenate yourself, your own body, soul, and mind. And the third day I'll be talking about how to bring spiritual wisdom to the workplace, which is very dear to my heart, having worked in the corporate world for so long, is how to align all these teachings in your work milieu, which you can do.
Do you
the
think
soul healing with Divine Healing Hands we're really excited about, and we're offering this training and this teaching 4 times this year. We've already offered it once in March, offering it again in June, September, and December, all over the world in 19 different locations, one of the locations being in Toronto. So I'm going to demonstrate Divine Healing Hands, going to bring up some of our soul healing, Divine Healing Hands practitioners from the Toronto area to demonstrate it so people can experience it. And I'm really looking forward to that. It'll be very much an experiential opportunity.
How many practitioners do you have presently in Toronto?
In Toronto, we have, in the greater Toronto area, I'd say between 50 and 60.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is the average age where a person decides that they want to investigate or experience or experiment with the new philosophies that they're becoming aware of?
You know what? There's no age.
No way.
We have people that are healers that are 18 and 19 years old. We have people that are 80 and 85 years old.
Wow.
So there is no age because the soul really has no age, so to speak, except it's soul life. So your soul feels the calling. You want to make the connection. You experience the healing, and then many people feel the call to become a healer themselves so that they can offer service. People are looking for ways to serve, and it doesn't matter what age they are.
All right, you were talking about bringing this new soul healing wisdom into the workplace, but what happens, Master Lynne, if you're a positive person, you want this change to happen, and you're in an office of 35 people who are just totally stressed out, maxed out, and the last thing they want to hear is somebody talking about soul healing? How do you make a change in an atmosphere that isn't conducive to the way you feel?
You chant. That seems very simplistic, but I had a desk. I ran a training part of a couple of very big organizations, which I won't name, in the Toronto area. I was actually a senior manager in 2 of these organizations. I was also a management consultant. People knew about the kind of things that I was interested in, the things I did. People were very curious. I actually was asked to teach noontime sessions, which I did in the last organization that I was with.
Wow.
People came from people at the front desk to the technology people to the senior managers. It didn't matter what they did. And one of the things that I introduced to people was how you can incorporate this in your daily life. Like, what's this got to do with me coming to work every day? And how you can shift, the atmosphere in an office, bring more light, bring more positivity, as we call it, into that environment. And it's very possible to do. And all of these techniques, soul healing techniques, are totally applicable to every aspect of a person's life. It's amazing.
All right, stand by. Master Lynne, you and I have to take our final break for this hour. Exonation, Master Lynne Nusyna is our special guest. www.mastershawsoulhealingcenter.com. And don't forget, center is spelled CENTRE. Or www.drshaw.com. And Master Lynne is going to be at the Body, Soul, Spirit Expo at the International Center, 6900 Airport Road in Mississauga between May the 25th and the 27th. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell. Don't go away.
18 Sergeant Central. 19 Sergeant, check. Officers on the scene.
Hi, I'm Larry Lawson, host of Paranormal Stakeout. With over 36 years in law enforcement, I've learned a few things. The most important is the proper gathering and preservation of evidence is vital to putting the bad guy behind bars. It's no different in the world of paranormal investigation. Whether it's the search for the afterlife, cryptozoology, UFOs, and extraterrestrials, how we gather the evidence, preserve that evidence, and present it to a jury of our peers will make the ultimate difference in proving the existence of worlds and entities that are beyond our imagination. Join me, Larry Lawson, every week on Paranormal Stakeout when, along with my guests, we'll take a journey to prove with indisputable evidence what man has struggled to believe for centuries. Go to xzbn.net for the broadcast schedule and check me out at paranormalstakeout.com.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A soul balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today. www.soulbalancing.world.
You're listening to the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. And welcome back, everyone. Master Lynne Nusyna is my special guest this hour. As I said, Master Lynne is going to be at the Body, Soul, Spirit Expo at the International Center, 6900 Airport Road in Toronto, right across the street from Pearson International Airport. For more information, you can go to the Body, Soul, Spirit Expo website at www.bodysoulspiritexpo.com. Now, for more information on Master Lynne or Master Shaw, www.mastershawsoulhealingcenter.com. And don't forget, center is spelled CENTRE.com. Or you can visit Dr. Shaw at www.drsha.com. Lynne, how does chanting actually work?
Chanting actually is a form of service. When you chant, it's like praying. I mean, if you've been in a church, you've been in a synagogue, been in a temple, you've sung a beautiful song or a beautiful prayer. And that's what chanting is. It's really a connection at the soul level. And when you chant, you are offering service both to your soul, to every soul.
Wow.
So it's part of many traditions. People talk about mantras. They're part of what we call sound power. In order to really invoke the power of the soul, you use sound, which has frequency and vibration, and they can heal. So that's really what chanting is all about. It's about chanting so that you can invoke that power.
What would you like to let the X Zone Nation know tonight? And what's the message that you'd like them to think about?
Well, there's two things. One thing is that I just wanted to mention that when we do the Body, Soul, Spirit Expo, we're going to be at booth 92, and we are going to offer free soul healing. So, as I said, you heal the soul first, and the mind and body will follow. And everything needs to be experienced. As Master Shah tells us all the time, if you want to see if a pear is sweet, taste it. So if you want to know what soul healing is all about, come to our booth, experience free soul healing, come and listen to us when I speak there, come to our website, see the testimonials, receive a blessing from Master Shah. But experience is the key. If you want to heal the soul, mind, and body, and invoke the power of the soul, let us help you do that. We're here to serve.
Lynne, I want to thank you ever so much for joining us. Quickly, let our listeners have your website one more time.
Our website in Toronto, we have a Soul Healing Center in Toronto, and the website is www.mastersha, M-A-S-T-E-R-S-H-A, Soul Healing, S-O-U-L, Healing, H-E-A-L-I-N-G, Center, CENTRETOR.com, or Master Shah's website, which is www.drshaw.com.
Thanks very much for joining us, Lynne. I look forward to seeing you at the Body, Soul, Spirit Expo in Toronto. Take care of yourself, and thanks for a wonderful hour.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Well, there you go. That's it for tonight, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock as once again we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. So until tomorrow night, take care of each other, and always remember that if you can help somebody out, go ahead, do it. And always keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the light. Good night, everyone.